Welcome once again to your number one, number moja, number uno, number entertainment TV show in Uganda. And that is none other than Level Up. And I'm yours every day, SANNY.D, the real bomb diggity. You can call me if you want to. But today, we are privileged. We are delighted. We are humbled. We have one, I think it's not even, none to compare to, but is the best, the most celebrated East African hip-hop artist in UG. Is a father, is a married man. He has actually, I think it's the number one most played song in Uganda. As you look, if you hook up right now, it's a timeless song. Yakaimano Wakabi Bobby Wine. I wanted to just clarify. Yakaimano Wakabi Bobby Wine, Badman from Kamocha. Hook it up, but when Banjo get Baby, I believe you know who I'm talking about. This guy is fresh from the plane, from New York. To mention about a few, he has too many accolades. A singer collaboration is a hip hop. Name East Africa, actually, not even hip hop, but in all genres. A singer collaboration is Akabi. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, one and only Navio.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Thank you for the love, man. Appreciate it.
Believe me, if I start talking about you, I get short of words because man, you are. I mean, you've blessed Uganda with lot of talent, lots of dedication, and you've been consistent.
Yes. I think that's the only thing we can be, and I think that's what separates the boys from the men is consistency. Consistently trying to do what you love, consistently doing it well. You're right. That's the word, man. Consistency. But yeah, I mean, it's Uganda who's made me who I am. Like I say, neighborhood Nav. It's this.
You made Uganda also. You've made Uganda also because when you go out there, you represent. I've seen you representing from times of Ara Kelly, representing in many times. I saw. Man, I cannot mention it, but man. Welcome to Level Up, Navio, the big boss.
Ooh, level up. Time to switch it up. Mad vibes. No, man, it's a blessing to be on the show. I'm a big fan of the show as well. So yeah, man, I was like, this is gonna be my first interview. Coming off the plane. Yeah. Let me sit down with my guys that Level Up. And let them know what's happening.
One love, bro. Welcome, fresh. First class jet. After the show. But ladies and gentlemen, Navio here is in the building. Now, let's just a little digesting. How was that? 50 years of hip-hop, New York. Man. I saw you on this big platform. Those guys I admire. Yeah. The Fabulous, Nas, to measure by a few. Yeah. Tell me that experience and how did you
I mean, they basically picked, I think it was the top 30 people regionally. From all over the world. Yeah. So they had, the best of the best coming together to celebrate 50 years of hip hop. Of course, naturally, Nas was going to be the front runner for the States simply because he's a Hennessy ambassador. Yeah. He's done so much work with them and for them. So yeah, man, it was amazing to be around other acts, from the continent who do their thing and have kind of stood the test of time. Other acts that have, shaped. I think that's the main thing that they were after, is like artists who have shaped the industries. Yeah. So he was there. You had Migos in the building. It was like, the list was actually endless. Those are just the pictures that were there available.
We're blessed to have you now, to be a Ugandan, because it's a blessing. But I'm still wondering, on that very platform they called you, you're there, and. How do you gain, as you Navio, where do you gain from this, and how did you even reach to be there? I know you're the best in East Africa in hip-hop, but I mean, there are other people who believe they're best also.
Yeah, of course. I think best is always just a matter of it's subjective. It's everyone has their own best, but statistically I'm up there. I'm doing my thing, man. But I think that's also, I'm just empowered because of the Ugandan people. The Ugandan people have put me here. You understand? So there's no position that I've ever got to, no place I've ever gone to, no plane I've ever got on, no jet I've ever done. No artists I've ever collaborated with without the Ugandan people showing me love first. That's the most important thing. So getting to that place, I guess, the hard work. For me, I've always had a view where I want to be able to perform what I perform anywhere. So I want to be able to perform in Garo here. People put their hands together. I perform it in Malaysia, same thing. Australia, same thing. Baghdad, Beirut, Afghanistan. It doesn't matter where I go.
Actually, on that very note,
I want my music to be timeless and for me to be able to do it anywhere in the world. And I think that's probably the reason that they highlighted me as one of the acts to bring for this.
on that very note, that you said you want to have Ngalo performed all over the world, somebody was like, they call Navio because he sings a lot of English. And I'm like, nah. This guy sings a lot of English, but also sings in Uganda, and he's the best. So
yeah, but I mean, they
because
called,
you sing only English.
no, they called Octopizzo. They called Octopizzo. Octopizzo doesn't do any English.
Exactly.
They had people there, a guy from Ghana who mixes up the languages. You had artists from Croatia. The guys rap in their language. You know what I mean? You had people from Japan who have never said a word of English. So it's not about that, man. It's just about the content. At the end of the day, I'm about the lyrical content. There are people who would, they're called hit makers, and there are people who would do songs where there's not much substance. They want to make the chorus, dancey, 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 everybody dancey, dancey, and that's okay. I like that on like 3 or 4 of your songs on your album, yeah. But we need content. We need to be saying stuff. You know what I mean? When you have songs like Saidzeno, you know what I mean, Price puts you in a frame where he gives you a snapshot of what he's up to in these streets. You know what I mean? In these streets, he tells you what he's up to.
Yeah, speaking of Price, on that very note, speaking of Price, those who don't know Price is a big rapper in UG.
Price Tabor. Woo, Price Tabor. Yeah.
So now, you being there, does it give more platform to Uganda as large, or it only stands in for you doing good work?
Yeah, definitely, because they didn't know that we were on this level. So they didn't understand that lyrically we were doing what we're doing, and we've been at this level. But people before me were at this level. The kids coming after me are gonna be on a higher level. We've been improving over time. And I feel like getting out there and showing people that, hey, by the way, this is what my album sounds like. We had a pre-party where I got to perform, and as I got on, people were like, oh, from Uganda. Oh, okay. So now everyone is turning to see. And I started off with Hamadi. So they heard Eli Wamara, the legend, and then the beat kicks in. The beat kicks in from Ethan. And then after that I come with the Rams, C'est La Vie, We've Been Piss Poor, Trade My Sheets. There's a big producer in America. I'm not going to say his name. He literally spat his drink when I said that word. He was like, when I said that my first 3 lines, he was like blown away. He's like, what? These guys are doing bars the same way that we're doing bars. These guys have got lyrics like us. These guys have beats that can match up. They've got legendary guys like Eli Wamara. They didn't know we had the complete package in Uganda, and now they know.
Speaking of complete package, I want to be doing what we call in Uganda Kasabu Kanyama. I saw you on that very note that you have a complete package. You had also a project you had a project which was Project X, trying to look for different way of sound in Uganda.
Yeah. So we have a brand new show, that's on now, and it's called Navio X. It's a cultural project. I go to different cultures in Uganda, and we basically show the best of those cultures. I think so many times people tell you, oh, Karamajong, hey, those ones, they jump. Me as a Muganda, that's all I know. Now I'm like, can I get deeper in the culture? What do they eat? What do they do? What is their take on life? I interview some of the elders. Yeah, talk about the elders. So for me, that's what it was about. I was tired of us guessing about each other's cultures. Uganda is so small and so vibrant. The diversity is not something that makes us weaker. It makes us stronger. Exactly. If we understand each other. So the Navio X project was a culture project that was about that. And then also doing our bit, for tourism. Me personally, I like it when people visit the country. I know what it does. Those people visit the country, they come to my show, September 2nd at Sheraton. They're going to come to the show. Next time they're going to be telling their promoters in UK, book this boy. I saw some guy perform there. get this guy out there. People in Australia, Malaysia, Thailand, it's happened for me before, where people see us, they just have to see you on stage. They take that message out. They're like, man, the Ugandan acts, who's there? This one, this one, this one. It strengthens us, man. So also for tourism, I said, let the Navio X project show the better side of Uganda, not just music. That would be selfish. Let them see the sights and the sounds. As we travel there, let them check out why Uganda is known as the Pearl of Africa.
Now, still speaking of Navio and the projects you're doing now, some time back I've seen you in a Grammy record, and I saw you with GNL, and just a little synopsis of how is it like to be on that? Is it a academy, like you're on an academy?
Yeah, so it's basically the number one institution for the higher level of music in the world. So the Recording Academy. We are basically not on the board. The board. That's maybe in 30 years. Maybe in 30 years.
An opportunity. That's what we want to digest.
Yeah, no. We're just now on the actual committee. So the Recording Academy. We're just part of the academy.
So what is the difference between the board and the committee?
I guess the board. Those are the founding fathers, the creators of it. You know what I mean? It's like Navcop. You know, there's the CEO, there's the ones who work for me, there's the, the people on ground. So now we're part. Yes, we're part of the yes. So we're the guys in the academy, just sort of deciding who who not necessarily who gets nominated and whatnot, but just making our voice heard. For me, joining the academy or applying to join was all about just getting our voice heard. And also showing Ugandans that, guys, we can kick in the door open and do that. There are people who've been situated in the States for years, 5 years, 10 years. They're artists, but they've never done anything, really, to kick open those doors. It's only when you see an Eddie Kenzo get nominated is when you're doing that. So I'm also guilty of that. So I'm like, you know what? Let me put my best foot forward. Let me also empower myself. I know I've done it all in music, in Uganda. 300 million people looking at me and Peter Miles jumping for ruckus around Africa. This was 15 years ago. I've done it, but I still feel like I have a responsibility. Yeah,
we need them.
Exactly. So, and for me, being there, sitting in my house, I have my kids, I'm happy. But what about the guy who's starting? Can he kick open the doors I can kick open? No. And me, I'm just going to sit there with all my connections.
Are you telling me as per now, as we talk, do we have a leeway to be a part of that big brand?
We are at least in the conversation.
All right.
So now we're in the conversation.
All right.
And if there's one thing that rappers do well, is talk. So we're going to do our best, man. Eddie's there, GNL's there. There's a bunch of us more coming on board. And once we're there, now people can start getting to know us,
A spot there in the academy. If we get a spot there in the academy, does it give us more platform to have more Ugandans to be hooked out, like we've seen the Burna Boys in the Nigerians? I believe Nigerians already filtrated that place.
Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely there in numbers. It's now just about us, not necessarily following, but blazing our own trail. We come from a place where we make exciting.
We are better than them.
Yeah. I mean, that's Africa as a whole.
Have you here with a good voice, good lyrics, everything good. I mean,
I mean, if you give me anyone who you think is the best in the world at what they do, or the best in Africa, I can give you a Ugandan who can match them. I mean, the other day someone was saying, yeah, but we don't have anyone who can compete with Thames, for example. And I was like, are you talking about Thames stage performance? Because I can put a Shiba there. Exactly. Are you talking about vocally? Because I can put a Tyra Shante there. Exactly. Check out Tyra Shante if you want to.
Yeah, actually, speaking of Tyra Shante, we've seen you before you left. You had a lot of collaborations, and I think you have also one with Pastor Bugembe. Is it true?
These are things you're not supposed to know. How do you know them?
No, yeah. That's what we do for a living. But
yes, no. So I did a song, and actually we shot the video for the song with Tyra Shante called Water. Yeah. We shot the video when I was in the States just now for the last 5 weeks. So we have the video coming out. Sasha Vibes flew in. Oh yeah. Yeah, full American crew. and shot an amazing video for Water that's coming out soon. And then yes, we do have a very secret, top secret collaboration with Pastor Bugembe, Wilson, the man, the legend, the man of God. So I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be one, and I'd love to perform it at the show. Let's see what time allows.
All right, now, speaking of the show, we want to digest a little more on the show. Now, we having Navio, having a show. Actually, for those of who don't know, at Level Up, we at Sheraton Hotel with the big boss himself, Navio, the Nav Cop. This is big. But now, speaking of the show, we've seen scenarios in Uganda. Yes. Apparently, they're raising like mushrooms, ngabutiko, whereby big artists fight over day. Yeah, they have a show on the same day. We've seen it with Palazzo and Alien Skin. Now we have Shiba and Cindy on the same day, on the same venue. Yeah. It is becoming now worse. Yeah. I don't know if it is good. Which angle would you digest now? Let's first start with Shiba and Cindy having on the same venue on the same day.
I think same venue is a bit extreme, Munaga. I'm sure those two are going to come.
Accordio.
They're going to come to an agreement, really. Let us use one stage for the sake of security and confusion, and we perform together. That would be nice. And that was actually, of course, you heard about that. That was actually the first thing. There was supposed to be a battle for me and Gravity.
That's where I was going to go. Now you having a show on the same date with Gravito Muchuju. Whereas Gravito Muchuju is one of the person who thinks is a good hip hop artist, which I don't know. I'll go back to that. But now, why is it? And would you think also would it be better if you two also have the same day? But how about if you have it on the same stage and you just help each other? Is it why do Ugandans have always to have to fight?
I mean, I think that would probably be the biggest show.
When you have a show,
it would be the biggest show probably.
Cut them out. But let's just wind it a little bit.
Hold on. It would, but we're at separate venues. Yes. It's not like Cindy and at least those ones they can talk and see. But also, I think that was offered. It was on the table. We started having talks. Abitex and a few other people started talking about, doing a versus or a battle. And I'm all for it. There's no one I shy.
The battle will be on the same stage. Oh, yes. One has a stage right here and another just next to it.
Battle is a battle, man. So I was willing. My man.
Would you take a stage? The same show stage with Graviton Tuju and hit
anybody. So we were willing.
So if today Graviton Tuju comes and tells you, you know what, brother, I've seen it through. I tell you a big brand and I'm a big brand. Why don't we work together and have the show together on the same spot, like here at Sheraton? Would you take it?
I think we've already booked venues. That's the only problem. He's booked his venue.
People have told us. We have paid 2 people so far now. Yeah. People have told us they have paid. Shiba told us paid. Cindy told us paid. They both have receipts on the same venue on the same day. Yeah. So
it can be confusing. No, but this one is straight. Cricket over. He's paid.
You've confirmed your payment.
Sheraton, me have handled. So what can we do except do our thing? I think 10 years ago we had that show, Comedian and Baby. Yeah. Both of them packed. So Palazzo and Alien, both shows were packed. Yeah. Aliens was overpacked. but yeah.
Now on that very note, where does it put you after? Before we start off the show, everybody is saying his words. I'll show them I'm the biggest. Yeah. On the day God lets you down, all the fans let you down, and where does it put you on your momentum, on the energy?
I mean, for me, it's a 20-year celebration. So it's been 20 years of Navio. This is going to be my 9th show. The 8 of them have been successful. And this is 8 minus the collaborative shows, minus the actual shows we've done. So you're talking like 4,000 shows. And you're talking about 9 successful concerts for me already. This is the culmination of that. My fans and everything, they've been built to know that we weather these storms. And I know that we're going to put on the show. No one had seen an LED before we came. An LED on stage. We came and did that. Changing clothes, outfits. No one had seen that from urban artists. We came and did that. Sound quality with Steve Jean. We came and did that. So
What
we
should
always
we expect on this show? Because that you've told us, and we've seen you guys doing marvelous and wonders on your shows. Now, what should we expect? Do we also should expect some of the people you've done collaboration with, some of the Americans and whoever?
all of them, trust me, it's gonna be the best of Navio. I had my shot, and I did what I did when it was my 10 year. Yeah, now Wudiranga. You saw what happened. When it was my 5 year, even when it was my 10 year, now Wudiranga. When we had Njogereza at my 15 year, now we're coming to my 20 year. You know, I mean, yeah. If you've heard Njogereza before, if you've heard Nawudiranga concert before, if you were at even the Clear Cut concert when we started, you know, at the Half the Legend, you know where this is going to end up. So it's going to end up big. It's going to end up. I mean, we have to go theatrical. We have to, you know, things have to. Yeah, I'm trying not to give away too much, but you know, I'm really there to start a new chapter, to inspire more people, to inspire that guy who's just started has to watch, look, and see, and say, "Wow, I'm going to be there in 20 years."
Speaking of inspiring other people, what has made you more to stand the consistency? Because we have seen people who are good, but to stay on that consistent peak, and that you do hip hop, whereby hip hop, there's a time where hip hop was at the peak in Uganda. Apparently, you are the only brand that we can look out in Uganda. That guy is still standing and doing good work. Where we shall hear that music, Newa Mama Wange Ngalukuba. So, what makes you stand out for that longevity?
I think you have to try and be a real person. They taught, you know, if you're pretending to be someone, I don't think you can last very long in the industry.
Yeah, they're pretending.
I don't. There are a lot of people who pretend. You pretend to be a bad man Rasta from Jamaica. Sometimes you know what I mean. Some people would do that. It's hard to last because you're not being authentically yourself. With me, I never had to pretend. I can just be myself. You know what I mean. Whether I walk in with one person or 20 people, I'm still myself. You know what I mean. They call me Neighborhood Navio for that reason. I show up and I show love in any neighborhood, uptown, downtown, ghetto, up country. I've done shows from Opotipot all the way down south. You know what I mean. So for me, I think part of the longevity also is about respecting the next man. You know, there are a lot of artists out there who go in and you start feeling big for yourself. You start fighting with people, hurting people, fighting with DJs.
Speaking of hurting people, but apparently, actually, you're Dement. I'm talking about the show Dement. The guy who has a show on the same day you do have. He's fond of beating people. What makes you that? I would ask you, because I've seen this guy, and Bobo Musanze, he looks to be humble, but when it comes to action, he will beat up every harmonizer. I'm talking about Gravity. So, you as Navio, challenges what are those challenges that made you want to lose it at Gotoze Funa? We've seen you humble and you're a big brand.
Yeah, I mean, for me, first of all, when you talk about fighting, for me that's I mean that's something that my family does. It's a family tradition, fighting. You know, from my uncles, you know, to my brothers and sisters, like all of us are trained in that. We do that. So I know what I'm capable of. Yeah. So by the time I'm reaching out to put my hands on someone, I know what that can do. The value of that. 1, 2. I have too much respect for the people around me. You know what I mean? For the people that I represent, to put myself on that level. If someone comes and fights with me, I will defend myself, yes. But for me to go out and try and start a fight, yeah, I mean, if someone tries to start a fight, that is different. You're defending yourself, you know. But to go out and start a fight, I mean, I can't. You know, I also went to school in South Africa. You start a fight, someone finishes it. You understand? Like not our stuff of guys separate you and I'm going to tell your judge. No, like until. You understand? Exactly. So that is kind of the school I come from, and I think a lot of artists know that about me.
Okay, one more last.
That is why an artist will say something about me and then apologize. Because I'm from a different world. The man you talk about has apologized twice himself on live TV.
And cried. Yeah. On the last remark, about the show. I want you to talk to Level Up and tell them this is one exquisite show they don't want to miss.
Man, I said, what up, man? It's your boy Navio. Get ready for it. 2nd of September, we are at Sheraton. That's right, Sheraton Gardens. We're going to be taking over. It's going to be massive. NavCorp Army, all the people who supported me, Webale Kusima, thank you guys so much. It's been a 20-year journey. You know what I mean? Let's make sure we finish it off strong, man. We'll see you guys there. Sheraton, September 2nd. It's going down. Much love and respect. It's your boy Navio. Peace and love.
I won't say nothing else. If the big boys talk, some of us so ladies and gentlemen, that was Navio, the NavCorp boss. Sija kuongela zako. Back to Level Up the studio. Deuces.